how many crimes have
And
they
then- and
committed?
then pardons-
oh wait,
pardons
the
vouching on.
Republicans had like 8
Well, how will
years
we ever
to
know? They're all
investigate them and
pardoned.
found nothing. How do
They're
you
all
know you had
pardoned.
8 years to investigate it? What do you mean? How many special
Yeah, I don't
counsels?
know. Well,
How many
did we have 8
Republican
years to
things?
investigate
They had
them?
nothing. You have strong feelings about what you think should be a crime or not, but if you don't care about the law, there's no legal argument to be had then. If you just think it's a crime because it's bad, you don't like it, or if you think it's a crime or it's not a crime because you don't think it's a big deal, that's fine. But I mean, like, if you want to have the legal argument,
logic for you. As long as bad things are done via the process of law, that's fine.
We're about to have a look at a nice little debate between Andrew Wilson and Woke Destiny. And you might not know this, but Destiny has put Andrew Wilson basically on a blacklist of people not to talk to, people not to debate. And just a while back, Andrew Wilson actually caught Destiny in one of these Jubilee debates where Destiny was sitting in the middle of the circle and then just random people. I don't know exactly how they go, but Andrew Wilson basically went there and cornered Destiny to debate him. But this time, it's on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show. So apparently Destiny has agreed to debate Andrew Wilson, or Piers Morgan tricked Destiny into debating Andrew Wilson. We'll probably never know. But this one is a good one. It's regarding Elon Musk and Doge and everything that's going on with the Trump administration as far as Elon is concerned. And I had a good time watching this debate. So let's go ahead and get right into Andrew Wilson destroying Woke Destiny in a heated debate live on Piers Morgan's Uncensored show.
Let's turn to the Trump-Elon Oval Office press set. We've got a sort of this.
Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it.
Destiny, what did you make of that? Obviously, it's very unusual. You've got the richest man in America standing next to the President of the United States in the Oval Office by the Resolute desk. He's got his kid with him who's picking his nose. It's all a bit random and weird and surreal. However, I did watch it all, and I kept thinking to myself, if I was an average American watching this, hearing what Elon Musk is doing to federal overspending, I'd be cheering him on. I'd be all in favor of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the average American, I guess, or the average person just has no idea how government works or functions. And I guess weird and surreal is just the way to describe now, or illegal, I guess, is the way to describe that this administration has decided to address programs that they don't like. If you want to cut down on waste, fraud, and abuse, I don't think anybody would necessarily have a problem with it, but they keep saying waste, fraud, and abuse when what they mean is programs that I don't like. And they've already taken several almost certainly illegal actions in trying to basically unilaterally dismantle organizations like USAID that have been independently authorized by Congress that the president doesn't have the ability to do, to dismantle unilaterally. And now you've seen TROs coming out from the judiciary that's telling him, hey, you have to stop. There was the one on the federal spending freeze that not only was a TRO issued telling him that you have to stop freezing these funds. Now another judge has said you are violating the TRO. You need to stop this immediately. So I guess if you don't care about the legality or the process and procedure or anything having to do with the structure of government, I guess it's a cool thing. But if you care about like following the law or the rules or maintaining your government, then it would probably be a horrific thing. But
Andrew?
Yeah, you got this idea. I've heard Destiny kind of talk about this before when he's saying, okay, these are illegal actions and possibly the court's not going to be able to catch up with these illegal actions. And so Trump is just going to basically continue with what he's considering to be illegal actions. Thing is like people forget about things like jury nullification or like the idea that you can have laws. And even if you're the enforcer of the laws, in this case, the executive branch, you don't actually have to enforce these things. There's no, like you're put there for a reason, just like a jury can nullify a law by saying, even though the law says you're guilty, I can still come back with a not guilty verdict. What's happening here is we don't even know what the waste, fraud, and abuse is. And so there's an audit going on, and this is exactly what Musk is doing. They're trying to audit this and get it in front of the attention of the American people to say, look, we don't want condoms for the Taliban. That was 15 million. Promotion of atheism in Nepal for 500,000. French LGBTQ programs in West and Central Africa for $1 million, right? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. $200 million 20 days in. I think that the American people do deserve to know that. And I don't think that they would, that this would be front and center or a thing we would be focusing on absent this audit. And I think that more of these government agencies should be audited. Now, Destiny can he can say, well, technically, due to the rule of law, we have judges who are making these impositions and this and that. It's like, yeah, that's fine, but that's all part of the process too. It's all part of the process of law. The process of law is playing out exactly like it should. Judges are supposed to create injunctions if something illegal is going on, et cetera, et cetera. There's nothing wrong, though, with auditing these places. And for the spirit of transparency, I think that leftists are just pissed for no good reason. Like they go, oh, Musk is collecting all these people's information. It's like unelected officials at the DMV are collecting my information. The unelected officials at the Social Security office are collecting my information. Like so many government offices collect my information by people who I definitely didn't elect, and neither did Destiny. They're totally fine with that. But for some reason with these guys, no, that's too much.
That's so true. And it cracks me up because these people out here crying that Elon Musk is trying to steal our social security numbers and all this crap like that. They're people out here with bad credit. It's like, what is Elon Musk going to do with your bad credit and your social security information? It's just such a stupid concept that these people are grasping at straws, trying to vilify Elon Musk because they hate Donald Trump. And also, Jabberjaw Destiny said right there, U.S. aid. That gives it this perception that it's some type of aid when it's really USAID. That's how we all should be pronouncing it.
Good point.
I mean, the reason, well,
That's
no,
a
it's
good
not
point,
a good point. The
Destiny,
reason
isn't it?
why is because these things have been authorized by law. There's a process and procedure there. The Social Security Administration was created by Congress. There is a process and procedure by which they collect data, and they have a process and procedure by which they store data and who's allowed to access it. Elon Musk is definitionally an unelected bureaucrat who is now part of a shadow government who is going from agency to agency, cutting whatever he decides is necessary. In terms of there being transparency, all of this stuff was already publicly available. They've literally shuttered the USAID offices. What do you mean? They've literally
Shuttered
frozen
them
payments
how?
from the Treasury.
Yeah,
Shuttered them
yes,
as they tried to give a mass recall saying all the employees needed to come home, which was stopped by a TRO, by a judge. And now a lot of these programs, there was just recently a report by the head of the Treasury guy who now is fired, who was saying that there's a whole bunch of food and stuff that we ship to other countries. It's just going to spoil because now we've cut off funding and money for it. All of these things have just been unilaterally cut by Elon Musk and Trump without any authorization from Congress, despite the fact that Congress was the one that authorized the funds for these programs and authorized these offices and agencies. If you want to remove all of these things, that's fine. If you don't want $500,000 being spent for trans ballets in Nepal for atheists or whatever, that's fine. If you don't want it, then Congress has to defund it. That's the way that this process works. It's not up to the president unilaterally to decide what he likes or doesn't like. That's already been passed
hang on.
by the Congress.
Well, hang on.
It's not up to you.
That's actually, I was going to say, look, that's not actually correct. He's entitled to do this, and then there
he's
can be
absolutely
legal.
not.
Well, hang on. Then there can be legal challenges, and Trump made it clear in the Oval Office yesterday he would accept what a judge said. Now, by contrast, I remember Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez when it came to the Texas ruling in a court by a judge about abortion medication, for example. She said that the Democrats should not accept what that judge had ruled. Right? So why is it one rule? Why is it one rule for Democrats that they can ignore a judge's order with impunity? But when President Trump says, if people want to challenge this, no problem, I would accept the ruling of the judge. Isn't that democracy?
What years was AOC the president of the United States?
What difference does that make?
What does that have to do with anything?
She's not in the position to do these things. She can give the advice on it. If you wanted me to ask myself, like,
she's an elected lawmaker who doesn't want to obey the law.
A lawmaker. She's in a different branch of government. She's part of the legislature. We're not talking about the legislature. We're not talking about a random lawmaker right now. We're talking about the president of the United States doing things to intentionally contravene. You can't just say you could break the law.
President Biden did the same over student loans.
No, he absolutely didn't. When the Supreme Court shut him down in one thing, then he took a different avenue. It was not the same. President Biden did not ignore temporary restraining orders. It wasn't issued TROs to stop what he was doing with the loan forgiveness. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
to say that this is not the same. It's not the same process.
Hang on, Destiny. I just let you
Vance
go.
and other people have said over and over. I'm still responding to peers. Vance and others have made it clear over and over again. They've quoted the Andrew Jackson quote, and they've said, well, we should just resist the judiciary. It is not part of law and order. It's not part of checks and balances for the executive to say, well, I don't care what a judge says. We'll just do whatever, which is what they're currently doing. And a judge has already said they've done with the TRO that was placed on them having to do with freezing federal funding. So they've already broken with what the judges are telling them to some extent. And at the end of the day, there's no way to check and balance the executive if they're just going to do what they want to do. You have no checks and balances there. What are men in robes and lawmakers going to walk down and fight with the U.S. Marshals and the FBI? Like, it's not going to happen.
Andrew?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So there's an issue. What you have is an issue of authority. So Trump he's trying to expand the limits of his office as fast as possible. And I understand why. Last time he was there, they were trying to impeach him from basically day one, made up this phony Russian collusion nonsense. He comes in now. He has nothing to lose. He's going to expand his office as quickly as possible, try to move things as quickly as he possibly can. And most importantly, he doesn't trust the judicial branch. That's what he said himself in his various speeches. I don't trust them to give fair rulings. I don't trust that they're actually there in respect to actual law. He doesn't actually even believe that. So what he's doing is he's expanding as quickly. Hang on. My turn. So he's expanding it as quickly as he possibly can. But he did say that he would abide by the rulings of these judges. He just recently said this, and we don't know what's gonna come of that. Right now, he's expanding this office to try to figure out these audits, this type of thing. I don't see what he's actually done wrong. You're already panicking, but we haven't really had a chance to see what happens if he abides by these rulings, doesn't abide by these rulings.
Right.
We don't really know that yet.
Right.
Well, Doge in and of itself is probably a wholly illegal agency. I don't think that Doge even exists. I don't think they have the legal capacity to even do what Trump wants them to do. Number one. Number two, bringing up the Russia collusion stuff is funny when the entire foundation for Hunter Biden and Burisma was entirely fabricated. That person's already been convicted by the FBI for lying about the origination for that. And three, Donald Trump was already found to have people who were working with him collude with Russia. Roger Stone did it, but he was pardoned by Donald Trump. The same way Donald Trump pardoned all 1,600 J6 offenders.
The same way that Biden just Biden does the whole crime family, right? Pardons the whole crime family. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. How many crimes have they committed? The Republicans had like 8 years.
How do we ever know they're all
pardoned? Found nothing. How do you know? You had 8 years to investigate it. What do you mean? How many special counsels?
How did we have 8 years to investigate
them? They had nothing. Because they've been investigating him from as soon as Biden was in office. They've been investigating this guy, Hunter Biden, over and over again, and they found nothing. That's why the charges we got at the end of the day were for tax fraud. Well, for Joe Biden, they found nothing ever. They've been
Destiny,
hang on. This isn't going to make your points any better. I just want to make sure that we can get back to the actual point.
Destiny, if none of them have committed crimes, why do they all need preemptive pardons?
Yeah, they all need pardons.
Because Trump has shown over and over again that he doesn't need crimes to start chasing down people, and the Republicans have no problem hunting people down to try to go on fishing.
And the Democrats haven't been doing that to him for the last year.
Give me one example.
Stormy bloody Daniels. Honestly.
Did he break a law? Did he break a law? Also, that wasn't the federal government. That was the state.
Are you honestly happy that
that's fine.
The only time an American hang on. The only time an American president
no, I don't care.
The only time an American president was ever dragged through a criminal court was over a one-night stand with a porn star 20 years ago. Utterly preposterous.
It wasn't over a one-night stand. It was over misappropriating campaign funds and then creating a paper trail. You can, if you don't like the law, that's fine.
You've had presidents like Obama waging illegal drone programs, killing thousands of innocent people. Why is he not in a criminal court?
Illegal as per who? Illegal as per who? Which crimes? What are we talking about?
You don't think illegal drone programs are criminal? You can't just say illegal because it sounds...
Illegal as per who?
Oh, you think they're lawful?
You can say illegal because it sounds bad. Apparently so.
What about the illegal invasion of Iraq by George Bush?
What are we talking about for illegal invasion? Illegal
I'm talking about crimes.
Which crime? What crime are you talking about?
For New York State, it was a crime not
misappropriated campaign funds.
I'm making the point. The only time an American president has ever been dragged through a criminal court was not over running illegal drone programs or illegally invading sovereign countries. It was over an alleged one-night stand with a porn star that involved a bit of paper shuffling. Yeah. It was completely ridiculous.
You have strong feelings about what you think should be a crime or not, but if you don't care about the law, there's no legal argument to be had then. If you just think it's a crime because it's bad, you don't like it, or if you think it's a crime or it's not a crime because you don't think it's a big deal, that's fine. But I mean, like, if you want to have the legal argument,
logic for you. As long as bad things are done via the process of law, that's fine. But if you do good things absent the process of law, that's bad. It's like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I know. Here's my chain of logic. I know it's hard to follow. If you are a criminal, it's because you've broken a law. Not all bad things are criminal, okay? Not all bad things are crimes. You can think somebody did a bad thing, but they didn't commit a crime. Donald Trump committed crimes in New York State, probably committed crimes insofar as Georgia is concerned, and he's committed federal crimes insofar as the Mar-a-Lago documents case was and the J6 case was. He won't be held accountable for all of that, thankfully, because he's dismissed it. He does everything he can to elude accountability, but those are crimes. If you want to say, I don't like the war in Iraq and that's illegal, illegal as per who? We could talk about the ICJ or the ICC if you want, but that gets obviously way more complicated.
No, that wasn't what my point was. My point was
crimes.
Yeah. Wasn't my point. My point was to say that from your view, you're only concerned about process of law in this case.
Yes,
right?
the law, yes.
Not
correct,
about hang on. Not about the moral implications of the actual waste, fraud, and abuse that is brought up. Only that the technical process is followed. So it's like, okay, but what if they're not following your technical process, but they're actually finding waste, fraud, and abuse from a moral implication? That's actually a good thing. Now, I don't even agree with you that they're breaking any laws. I don't even agree that they're breaking any laws. These challenges are brand new. We have no idea how this is going to play out. You don't. I don't. But we have no idea if he's going to adhere to what the court is going to say. No, we don't have a good idea. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's not. We don't know for sure that Trump is going to just go, oh, I'm just going to Jackson the courts. The courts can enforce their own law. Like, that is speculation that's beyond the pale.
They've already done that. A judge has already issued a ruling saying they've already violated a TRO. So that's already happened to some extent. Now, how far will it go? Who knows? But they've already done exactly that. Doge does not have the legal authority to go in and unilaterally.
No, they're giving a legal challenge back, Destiny.
They didn't even
giving a legal challenge back.
Read the TROs. Their response was, "Oh, we're going after fraud," and the judge laughed and he said, "This isn't even a response."
That doesn't. Wait. So yes, they are. Not only are they going to respond to this, but they're setting up for legal challenges to go back the other direction. This is obvious. And by the way, this is part of the process. Like, I don't know why you just pretend like these politicians don't expand their offices all the time. And that's what the judicial does, right? It comes in, it'll rein it in. It'll say this is constitutional. It's not constitutional. You can't do this. You can't do this. They do it all the time. There's so much precedent for this, in fact. So if he doesn't adhere to what the judges end up saying, to what these courts actually say when he has no more legal standing to fight it, then you have a leg to stand on. Right now, you don't.
He's already done that.
He's acting, acting the best he can in the ability of the office of the president of the United States.
Chaps, we will see.
So the goal should be to just break as many laws as possible then, and then see what happens.
No, Trump has made it clear he'll accept the ruling of the judges. If he doesn't, that's another matter. Look, I want to end
that doesn't even follow anyway. Like,
guys,
that doesn't follow logically.
You know, sometimes it's really hard to add anything to these Andrew Wilson debates because he's just so thorough and smart. I gotta admit, he is one of the best debaters right now that I've seen. But I do want to add that when Destiny makes the point that he doesn't know if Doge is even legal, I just want to mention that 77,300,000 Americans who voted for Donald Trump when he said in his campaign that he was going to create this Doge department and put Elon Musk in charge, right? He even mentioned Vivek Ramaswamy, who has stepped aside. He's saying that it's because he's going to run for governor. Regardless, these people work for us. And when 77,301,000 Americans vote for something, support something, the federal government, the president, has a mandate to act accordingly. And the worst part about this is I don't even understand why Democrats are opposing Doge. And I mean the American people Democrats. I do understand why the Democrats in leadership in Congress and the House and these woke Democrat judges who are basically activists don't want Doge to be looking into government spending and waste and things like that, because it's going to affect them personally and possibly land them in a jail cell. But this was a great debate. It's good to see Andrew Wilson and Woke Destiny going head to head once again. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.